Hello, everyone. This is Joel Friedlander from thebookdesigner.com and Book Design Templates. We're not quite ready to start. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes, but I thought I would come on and do a little housekeeping. We've got a chat screen over on the right part of the screen, a chat function. And the input box is down at the bottom of the screen, so you can put a chat in there, a question or whatever. We also have a question function on the bottom of the screen where you can ask questions. We will try to address those as we go along. We'll also have a Q&A session at the end. So if we haven't addressed your question during the webinar, no worries. We'll try to get to all of them at the end. Let's see, we're using the Webinar Ninja platform. It seems to be working okay today. We'll see how it goes. I wonder if anybody there could put in the chat box and let me know where you're calling in from. I'll start, and I'm in San Rafael, California, and that's just north of San Francisco, about 20 minutes. Oh, Fort Lee. Okay, so it's afternoon there. Hi, Patty. Oh, Lafayette, right across the bay from me. More West Coasters. Central Arizona. All right. Well, I'm sure it's hot out there. It's not very hot here. Dave is in Boston. So people on both coasts, and Greg in Chicago. And Marlon in Wisconsin in the middle. Very cool. All right. So next question. Since we have a couple of minutes, about 2 minutes, type in the chat box and let me know what kind of books you write. I write nonfiction and mostly instructional books. I think authors of all kinds are going to find today's presentation awesome. Okay. Mostly fiction. Mostly fiction. Mostly fiction. Not surprising. I mean, there seem to be an amazing number of fiction authors in the world, and I love that. Poetry, romance, memoir. Oh, cookbooks. That's cool. I've been experimenting a lot lately with low-carb baking, something I couldn't even imagine 5 years ago, but it does exist. I'm doing kind of a cookbook / memoir myself, and having a lot of fun because, one thing you have to do is test all the recipes, right? Another nonfiction author, Katie. Deborah's another, and Marilyn. So I'm glad we got some nonfiction authors. It's like in my cover design contest we have every month, 75 to 80% of the covers are for fiction. But, those prolific storytellers can really put them out. They publish a lot of books. I think the nonfiction authors kind of take a little bit more time to write a book because you have to do research usually, stuff like that. Okay, sci-fi. Sci-fi fantasy. It's all good. There goes my 1 o'clock alarm. I'm going to give stragglers a minute, and then we'll get going. First, I'm going to turn this sound off. Okay. All right. It takes 3 years. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Actually, I'm sure you're really working on that book, Did. But doesn't it amaze you how prolific some of our fiction authors are? I mean, 3, 4 books a year or more. It kind of amazes me. I'm not sure I could type that fast. Okay, John, use the question box. That's okay. Yeah, don't be jealous. Just, I don't know, take a typing course. All right, so I want to get going now. This is Joel Friedlander from the bookdesigner.com and Book Design Templates. And I'm here today with my friend and colleague, Carla King. And Carla has an amazing presentation for us. I suppose that many of you already know Carla. I've known her for quite a while. I think it's going on 8 or 9 years now. And Carla is a resource I count on when I need help with vendors, stuff like that, procedures. Carla has a technical background before she went into self-publishing. She published her first book in 1995, and that is quite a history in self-publishing. And I'm going to let Carla fill you in on the rest of her biography as we get going. I just want to say that if you have any technical problems, you can always leave the webinar and come back in using the same link you used originally. That seems to solve a lot of people's problems. And in answer to your question, yes, we will have a replay of this event available, and I will email everyone who registered a link to that either later today or tomorrow. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Carla.
Hey, Joel. Hey, everybody. Wow, we have known each other for almost a decade, and it's really been, I always say we grew up in the self-publishing arena together because it was just born about then when we started. For those of you who don't know much about me, let me introduce myself. Well, some of you know me as a self-publishing expert. I'm also an adventure travel writer, a journalist, an author, and a pro blogger. And I'm a wannabe fiction author. So I'm seeing all these fiction, sci-fi, mm, genres coming up, and I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous. Fiction is so much fun. And I am known as that motorcycle travel self-publishing gal, which is kind of funny because I love all kinds of travel, but I guess the motorcycle just hit a nerve. And I've heard you say, Joel, on your webinars, and that a niche is not a bad thing. You own your niche and then you grow out of your niche into the greater, wider world. So that's okay. You can find me at selfpubbootcamp.com and all my resources, and carlaking.com for all the fun travel stuff. And on Twitter, if you want to use Twitter to ask me questions today or whenever, you can use Self Pub Bootcamp. And for the travel stuff, Miss Adventuring. That's Miss with 2 S's. So, on today's journey, well, we're going to explore beta publishing, of course. And I just want you to know that during the past decade, I've had a really amazing opportunity to train and lecture thousands of authors on their journeys. Most of them ended up self publishing, but some went on to publish using an agent and a traditional publishing house. And some did both, which means that they became what's called a hybrid author. And during this time, I've seen many people work patiently and diligently to step by step transform themselves into published authors. And most of them started here at this step you're hearing about today by sharing their early writing and getting feedback all throughout the writing and publishing process. So today, I'm really looking forward to sharing the simple and transformational ways to conquer any doubt, any uncertainty about finishing your book and publishing your book to 5-star reviews. Yeah, that's the goal. So, specifically, you'll learn how to get to know and feel connected to your readers through beta publishing. You'll find out how they can help you transform your manuscript into a book, a really quality book that the market truly wants. You'll learn where to find these early readers, critique partners, and communities, and how to engage them to help you market your book. And you'll gain the confidence to publish, knowing that your book is going to earn the 5-star reviews you've worked so hard for. And I know you all have worked really hard. Somebody said they've been working on their book for 3 years. That's a really hard work. So keep going. Just to also want to make sure that you stay tuned till the end, because Joel and I have a live Q&A and special offers, and so stay tuned for that. I'm really looking forward to announcing my new course. And I just would love it if you would put in the chat box which of these numbers you most relate to. Number 1, are you finished with your book? Number 2, you're still writing your book. And number 3, you're just beginning to write a book. Wow, Joel, lots of ones.
Yeah.
Couple twos, 3, 1 and 2. So some people have multiple books in the works. I always seem to have 3 or 4 books in the works. Oh yeah,
I would have to
sequels.
say
There's a lot of
I'm a
sequels.
multiple also. I've got 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. You do?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, I've published a fair number of books, but I'm working on books all the time.
Yeah, me too. And short stories. Yeah, I love short stories. I wish I had more time to write short stories. You're inspiring me, Patrick. So the good news is that wherever you are in your journey, you can start today, whether you're finished with your book, whether you're still working on it, or whether you're just thinking about a book idea. The steps I'm going to show you are actionable. So what we're going to cover is the biggest mistake authors make, which I see all the time, and Joel does too, and how not to make it. I'm going to give you a 5-point ready to publish test. You can take this so you know when your book is ready to launch or not. The meat of the presentation is how to identify and engage your critique partners, early readers, and communities. Where to publish before you publish, the beta publishing sites where you can invite your readers to come and give you feedback, and how to create super fans and also micro influencers who will help you market your book when it's time to launch. And also, we'll give you some guidance on how to save time, money, and stress through the entire rest of the writing and publishing process. So, this is the thing. People think that beta publishing isn't important, or they skip it altogether. And I'm on kind of I'm evangelizing beta publishing these days because it is important. It's important because you need to know if you have an audience for your book. And you need to know that they love it. Because marketing starts now, today, yesterday, hopefully. And you can cultivate fans, influencers, and super fans right now, not after you publish, but now. And get early reviews and launch day reviews. Wouldn't it be nice if you had those all set up in advance? Also, so you can empower a street team, free publicity from your community. They love to help. People really love to help. And that's the lessons that I have learned all these years. Getting a little help from your friends, readers, it's hard to make the ask, but if you do, sometimes you're surprised at how much they want to boost you. I love this happy picture. So one thing that I know a lot of authors, writer people suffer from, and I certainly do and have in my life, is overcoming shyness to make that ask and to share. But in my life, and like you probably, you have the motivation to overcome that shyness and start sharing. My story begins in France when I worked as a technical writer, and I decided that I loved to travel and I loved to write about travel. I was really I knew I could do it. I was a tech writer, so I knew I was a good writer. And of course, everybody said that I wrote great letters, but I got the writer's market. I wrote a few nonfiction and fiction stories and a little guidebook to bicycling in the French Riviera. And I sent it, but I got it. They were all rejected, and I had no idea why. It was because I had no community. I had no readers. I was really working in isolation. So when I came home from that technical writing job, I decided that I was just going to get over it and get involved and take some steps to fix this. I needed to know what I was going to do to go forward and become a successful writer. So the actions I took apply to today's topic, which is getting early readers and getting them involved in your writing. First of all, I signed up for a writers conference. And have you attended a writers conference? I'd love for you to put in the chat box if you have or haven't, and maybe which ones you have attended, because this is really one of the most important steps that I took. No, Writers League of Texas. Never attended one. No, no, not yet. Wow. Okay. Lots of no's. Well, I can't recommend it more, and you'll see why in a second. I also decided that I was going to write for almost free for a local publication just to try to get, portfolio together. Some of you may do that right now. And the third is I started a writing group. I don't know how many of you are in a writing group. You could say yes or no to that in the chat box as well. So the results of these actions that I took, these three actions in particular, were astounding. First of all, writing for cheap. I made a friend and editor for life who became an advisor and a critique partner. Susan Watrous, love her. She helped me craft what would later become an award winning story, which was really career changing in my writing life. And she also hired me, she got a job as an editor for a dive travel magazine, and she hired me as a freelancer. So that was a really nice bonus. The result of the writers conference was spectacular too, in getting critique partners and early readers and editors to look at my early work. I identified my tribe. Now, I don't know about you, but I felt super lonely, and I didn't know, I didn't know anybody who was writing in my circles. And this was a travel writing conference. So I really made a lot of good contacts there. I met members of my future writing group. I met editors who would publish my stories. I actually won the Best Travel Story Award in that competition. I remember in the last slide, Susan Watrous, who was my editor, she helped me make that story award winning. And I won in 1994. I won an assignment to blog for O'Reilly Media on a motorcycle trip around the United States on a cranky Russian sidecar motorcycle that broke down all the time, which would later become a book. At the time, I was writing to all 500 people who were on the internet then, but there's a lot more now, of course. So that was pretty spectacular, wouldn't you agree? The result of my writing group, I got lots of real feedback, not just encouragement, but real feedback that would help me publish. My writing group and I, 12 women, self-published an award-winning sold-out anthology that was sold to a New York publishing house. And after being incredibly well marketed and received, they pretty much killed it. That's a story for another time. It also helped me love self-publishing even more. We started a literary salon in San Francisco, which was a way to make more friends, more community, get more feedback on all of our writing. This is a great idea if you feel like you're working in isolation in an area. I bet you could start a literary salon and gather a group around you. We also started a group blog, one of the early group blogs, and did some workshops and a conference. So because of that, I became known in niches, women's travel and motorcycling. Not fiction yet, unfortunately, or still, but women's travel and motorcycling. So this was fun for me. And I really succeeded in these niches. I beta published a lot. I blogged a lot, got feedback a lot. I wrote for anthologies, got feedback from editors. I wrote articles. I was interviewed and I interviewed people. And I become a number one best-selling author in my small niche of women's adventure motorcycle travel. And I succeeded financially as well. I really made a pile of money because I was connected with my tribe and they wanted my books. So conferences and selling direct were my path to becoming a number one best-selling author because they helped me create a quality manuscript. They loved it. They became my fans and my super fans, and they gave me 5-star reviews and money. So what's better than that? So I learned the long, hard way. So hopefully you'll learn today a shorter way to achieve these results. And I'm not going to say you're going to become a number one best-selling author. It's not a promise, but I bet you if you follow these tips that you can become number one best-selling author in a niche. So let's go and explore this. Now, this step in the self-publishing flow is first. Create a story that you're sure your readers want and start building your platform and marketing is the first step. The and the marketing never stops. It starts now and it never stops. It doesn't stop through your setting up your publishing business, through design and formatting of your book, through distribution on the different online retailers, channels. As you get your launch all set with PR and marketing when your book actually launches and selling your book direct for more profit. So it's time to take out the notepad. I'm going to show you some tools and services that you're going to want to jot down so that you don't forget. And these are the sites that you can explore immediately after we leave this webinar to start your journey. But first, I want to tell you what the biggest mistake most authors make. Some of you may already know what this is. Now, Joel and I always say, get professional editing and design. And that is a really, really big step. But in my opinion, it is waiting until the last minute to start marketing and asking for reviews. So this is the point of this webinar, is to get you to start right now. And if you think you're ready to launch, some of you are finished with your books. I want you to pay special attention to this 5-point Ready for Success publishing test. Okay, so the first point is, have you got a critique group? Have you got early beta readers who are giving you feedback? Have you done the market research and competitive analysis that makes so that you can be sure that you really belong in the categories that you think you belong in? Those are the first two. The third is creating your author platform on the World Wide Web and getting an email newsletter together. Professional editing, and for those who are done, professional design as well. And the fifth is owning your own ISBNs. So when you have all of these 5 done, you can check these off. You are ready to publish. So let's focus on the critique group and early beta readers. So how do you know you are creating a manuscript that readers really, really, really want? It's kind of a duh question, because the answer, of course, is asking them. Now, I know, like me, many of you might be shy and be anxious. I didn't share my writing for so long. I shared it a decade or two after I should have. And it was because of anxiety and shyness. And I love this Seth Godin quote: anxiety is nothing but repeatedly re-experiencing failure in advance. I had to think about that a few times. And I know that I was doing that. And it does take some courage to share your writing, because it is your heart, it is your soul that you are bearing. Even when you're doing business books, you're sharing your knowledge, and it can be intimidating to put it out there for the first time. But people want to help. So who are these people? How do you identify and engage these critique partners, these early readers, and these communities that are going to help you market your book and help you make sure that the manuscript is right? First of all, what are critique partners? Well, they're experts. They're other writers, they're writing groups, and they're paid professionals. These people will tell you they're like developmental editors. They will tell you about narrative arc and character arc. They know the lingo. They know how to create a story and how to help you structure it better. They'll know. Hopefully, you're getting a critique partner or two or three who are in your same genre and know that if you are hitting the target, your characters match the genre, your setting and pacing match the genre that you're targeting. Maybe they can tell you if perhaps you are writing for a different genre or a niche that you don't know about. Do you need to change your genre, your characters, the focus? Pretty technical, and they'll bounce ideas around and help you evolve. I've had so many great critique partners, and we've helped each other create better storylines and characters. Mostly in nonfiction, but there's character work in memoir and nonfiction as well. Now, beta readers, who are they? Well, these are readers. They are not experts. These are your friends, your family. I bet you, how many people can you just put in the chat box have had your friends and family read your stories? There are people who are the kind of people who go to book clubs who love to read. Um, they will tell you things like, unlike critique partners, could you relate to the main character? Did the setting interest you? Did you get bored at any point? Is that what kind of stuff they've said to you? Were you confused? I'm beta reading a book right now, and I just can't get past the first chapter. Too many characters. And what if they don't respond? Well, if your beta readers don't respond, I would encourage you to ask them because some people just have too much to do and they forget, or maybe they don't respond because they don't want to tell you that they got bored. They don't want to insult you. So uh, that is also an answer. So where do you find these people? You know where to find them. You find them wherever people love to read: libraries, bookstores, conferences, especially writing conferences. For those of you who haven't gone to writing conferences, you can find critique partners and and beta readers there, as well as readings. And if you're in a large area, metropolitan area, you might go to literary salons or create one yourself. You can always find them on social media, Craigslist. You can advertise or find writing groups or readers, and meetup.com. Does everybody know about meetup.com? It's a online tool that lets you arrange physical meetings. So you could actually start a meetup group that's just for beta readers and critique partners. Now, online, there's this great site called critique.org, and they have a critters workshop. This is their cute name for critiquers workshop. Google Groups, I was surprised to find, has critique partner matchups. It's kind of incredible. I love the Google, the great Google. They've thought of everything. There is an online resource, Ladies Who Critique. Gentlemen, maybe you need to start a gentleman who critique. I haven't seen one of those. For nonfiction and fiction authors, LinkedIn is an amazing place to find critique partners, especially not so much beta readers, but critique partners on LinkedIn. And Reddit. I really want to tell you about Reddit because it's a social media platform. It's the largest social media platform on the web that nobody knows about. Who knows about Reddit? Just give me a hands up. Yes, Reddit, no Reddit. They are, I don't know how old they are, but I think they were the first social media site, and they are still going strong. Go take a look at the writing and reading forums on this site. It's pretty amazing. Oops, my screen is going a little crazy. Even if you can't find a uh, writers group on Reddit on your topic, you can search for groups on your topic and ask them questions, and ask them if they'd love to beta read your book. I bet they would. Yeah, Reddit, it can be kind of loud. People don't have to be polite on Reddit, just like Tumblr, they're kind of little renegades versions of Facebook and Instagram. Speaking of Facebook, I belong to a travel writers group on Facebook. If you write, who writes about the future? There is a group about that. And here's one for readers and writers of mystery and thriller authors and readers. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you, and I hope you're writing all this down, but I don't want to overwhelm you. Just sign up and look around and stay only if you like it. I know we tend to, I know I signed up on every single social media site and explore it for a little while, but I really don't hang around very often. Right now, my focuses are Reddit and Facebook. Even though I'm tempted to get on Instagram more, I have to resist. So don't exhaust yourself. Oh, I want to tell you also about Kristen Lamb. She's going to be at the San Francisco Writers Conference this year, Joel. She
Yeah.
has created a place called Wana Tribe on the web. We are not alone, for writers to gather, and they do writing sprints together and beta critique each other. So this is really kind of a more personal, of course, than Facebook. And I've been on Wana Tribe for a few years now. And then Wattpad. Why do you need to be on Wattpad? Who's on Wattpad? Can you tell me? It skews a little young, but it is the largest community for discovering and sharing stories on the web. It grew over 40% in 2017. And for you nonfiction writers, especially of romance and sci-fi and thriller, you might want to give it a try. It's got 65 million users and 45 million unique monthly users who spend an average of 274 minutes on Wattpad. It's mostly millennials and Gen Z, but the organizers, the management is actively trying to cultivate mature authors and readers. So even if you are writing for an older audience, I would try, put your things up on it, put your stories up on it as well. It's very connected with Facebook and Twitter. They have a new video app called Raccoon for nonfiction writers, for fun and for instructional videos. And they are actively pursuing a TV and movies channel based on Wattpad stories. So that's kind of cool for those of you who imagine you might want your book to be a TV series or a movie. They have a featured list. They have a seasonal list that they put out to their readers, many, many thousands of readers. And they have help for um, you writers, beta readers, book clubs, writing advice, editors, writing buddies. You can find all of that on Wattpad. And it's a social network, so you really need to be active. The organizers put me on a featured nonfiction list a few years ago, and I have 13,000 readers of my China Road Motorcycle Diaries. And you see, I've only got 35 stars and 2 comments. And that's because I haven't been active on it. I haven't been as social as I should have. So from this, I just took this screenshot the other day in preparation for this webinar. And I was like, oh, I guess I need to get myself in gear with Wattpad. What I'm doing here is playing the long game, trying everything and making sure that I have a presence on it. And that's what I would recommend. Don't just dismiss these sites, even if they skew young. But when you want to seriously up your game with critique partners and beta books, I have 2 recommendations for you. Betabooks.co and leanpub.com. And here's what they are. Betabooks is a brand new platform. They only launched less than a year ago, and it was in response to one of the founders not being able to organize his beta reader feedback. So he created this platform to bring your own readers to, so that you can organize, that you can centralize all of the feedback in one place. So you invite your readers to the platform. There immediately they started a reader directory, because a lot of you probably don't have beta readers handy, and so now they have a sign up for readers, kind of like library thing and Goodreads. um, so people who like to read can beta read books in progress. They also have a featured list, so they may highlight your book to their readers. It's betabooks.co. I actually interviewed the founders for my author friendly podcast, which is coming out next week. And so I hope you'll check that out. I love the platform. I've got 2 books on that platform. Also, leanpub.com, which I have loved for years and years. It is really popular with technical book authors, because uh, people who want to learn something about computers just need the information. They don't need it perfect. They don't need a great story. They just they just need it. And so the computer book authors were publishing serially and iteratively on this platform called leanpub.com. I actually think it's a perfect platform for NaNoWriMo. It costs 99. Let's see, it costs, what do I want to say about that? So you can use it to publish your in progress and your completed books. Let me show you. Here are 2 books that are on LeanPub right now. You can send your readers updates. You keep the email addresses of people who are reading your book, so you can grow your email list. You can price your book on a sliding scale from 0 to free. From 0 to $500. Uh, so maybe if you want to crowdfund your book, that would kind of be a fun platform. It offers one-click ebook generation, which is a really nice thing, because when your book is finished, you can just export it to EPUB and Mobi and sell it, and export it to PDF and put it up on CreateSpace and Ingram Spark, Smashwords, anywhere you like. It actually, Joel, this is kind of crazy. Did you know it exports print-ready PDF and InDesign files?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. And
I have gonna have to look into that InDesign
mhm,
hookup.
yeah, and it's got really nice book landing pages. They give you an 80% royalty rate of 80%, a little redundancy there. And it costs $99 per book, and you get a 45-day, 100% refund guarantee. You can beta your book here, and you can publish your final book here, and you can also publish it with Amazon, Smashwords, Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital, wherever else you like. So it's a great, kind of creates a smooth workflow. So whenever you beta publish, so let's say you run out, an hour from now and put your book up on LeanPub or Beta Books or Wattpad. What do? Well, you invite feedback. You use your email list. Does everybody, by the way, have an email list? Can you say yes or no? I really need you to get an email list. Ugh, no, I hear. Yeah, I know. How many times have you been hearing, get an email list? It's your most important marketing asset. Use the socials and invite people who are following you and your friends on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Just get people, put it up there. And wow, I'm seeing a lot of no's. Okay, creating one now, Anna. Good for you. John, kind of. Okay. Reese, minuscule. Doesn't matter. You can start growing it. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. So just go ahead and publicize the fact that you have this up and see what happens. I bet you'll be surprised. So how do you make super fans of these people? First of all, super fans are super awesome. Love them. They will pre order your book, they will subscribe to your email news. If you have an email newsletter, wink, wink. They will reply to your emails. They will post an Amazon review, super important, and they will like, comment, and share all of your social posts. That's a lot of support. So, how many do you need to succeed? Do you need 100? Okay, put in the chat box how many do you think you need to make a living as a writer? While you're doing that, I'm going to go on and I'll be 10,000, I hear. We're going to talk about true fans, super fans, micro influencers, and the street team. Thousands, 100, 1K, 1,000. So somebody's probably heard of the Kevin Kelly's 1,000 true fans. Have you heard of him? He is the founder of Wired, author of about a dozen books, a serial entrepreneur. And he found out, he did a lot of research and he figured out that if you have 1,000 true fans, 1,000 people who can't wait to buy your next book or your thing or your music, that you can actually make a living as an artist. So go ahead and put this in YouTube, Kevin Kelly, London Real, and you'll hear this interview with Kevin. It's amazing and inspirational. These fans are the 1,000 plus people on your email list who have the highest rate of opens and clicks. They're the social media responders, people who will purchase directly from you or from your website, enthusiastic reviewers, and readers who you know will purchase your next book. There are also micro influencers. I don't know if you know what they are, but these are really important. I think you need about 10 of these people. These are influencers, people on social media and with mailing lists that have between 1,000 and 100,000 followers. I like to say like 1,000 actually to 20,000. They have a reputation for being an expert in a really focused niche, and their followers are 80% likely to act on their recommendations, their books, their product reviews. You can start working on finding micro influencers from your follower list and socials right now using hashtag research and Google. And know that they love freebies. So if you have a little present, a T-shirt, a story, a keychain, whatever, uh, an ebook, they love that kind of thing as long as it's really relevant. But you need to engage them way before the ask, way long before the ask, and become quote unquote friends before you ask for an authentic review. Just to give you an example, that's me in the circle. I am a micro influencer in the adventure travel world, more specifically in the motorcycle adventure travel world, and even drilling down even further, of course, the women's motorcycle adventure travel world. And I get asked to read every adventure travel book written by a woman. And I just, I don't have the time to say yes to everybody, but I always do when people engage with me. And I have a large list of followers who are interested in this stuff. And I really love to make these recommendations to my followers. So do become friends, start sharing your work with these people and interacting with them long, long before your book comes out. Finally, 20 or so people on your street team. These are true fans who will take action for you. And you can recruit them and ask them to fill out a Google Forms uh, to, make sure that they know what they're getting into and ask them for ideas. Send them drafts in your advanced reader copies. Keep them involved. When you set up your street team, those of you who are almost done or done with your book, you can use a tool called Asana, Ansana, or Asana. Did I spell that wrong? I think I spelled that wrong. It's Asana, Asana. That is a sort of a base camp, but it's free. So you can share your plan and your schedule, gather your quotes, reviews, and images. Or you might just use a private Facebook page to organize and ask them for ideas because your readers are going to have really amazing ideas for how to publicize your book. And they're going to offer things, and they're going to go above and beyond. I know you're going to be surprised. You can send them freebies too. You might want to create a t-shirt, super easy these days. Of course, you want them to have the final autographed book, and you may even want them in the acknowledgments and give them public recognition. So start right now, kind of identifying who those people are and really cultivating relationships with these people. And this is it. This is marketing. This is done right. This is done early. And it is done. When you start marketing early, you can kind of relax. It's a marathon. When you don't want to come out of the gate and try and go around the whole track, using that analogy, and sprint to the finish line. You just want to, start and and make it easy on yourself. Take your time, relax, enjoy this process of writing and publishing. It is a lot more stress free, and of course, it's more fun. So, this is what I don't want you to forget. Most authors launch their books too early. I have done it. I have made every mistake there is. I've self-published since 1995. So, it's taken me a long time to figure out how to do it right. And I know that for every 100 authors who self-publish really well, thousands not so much. And they either end up quitting or starting over. Don't want you to do that. There's no need to do that. You can stand out and reach your readers. They will help you. They love to help you. And there are logical steps to publishing the right way to experience the success in your niche first and beyond. I'd love it if you would just remember that this success is within your control, and it's a lot more fun when you have a map and a little help from your friends. Okay? So that's the pep talk, the foundational step. You got to build this foundation. I believe that this is the biggest step in your journey to success, not your launch day. Everything starts from here, and you can start today. You can be sure that your book is ready to launch by engaging critique partners, early readers, communities, publishing on Reddit, Wattpad, BetaBooks, LeanPub, your email list, wherever, to super fans, cultivating micro influencers and street teams, and get most of your marketing done before your book is done. Really, what I hope that you learn today is how to transform your author career from ho hum and stressful to a real wow, and have more fun starting at the beginning of your journey. So, now what? After the pep talk, yes, of course, there's a lot more to do. This was the beginning, and I'd love to show you a way to save time, money, and stress, not only through the beginning of your journey, but through the entire writing and publishing process, one small but sure step at a time. And thank you, everybody. And thank you, Joel, for letting me make this presentation and talk about my new course, my self-publishing bootcamp series of self-publishing courses. So let me just jump in, and Joel, we're going to have questions at the end, right?
Yeah, we have some. I'm holding them in my back pocket, but I think why don't you just keep going and tell us about the amazing self-publishing bootcamp course, and then we'll do Q&A at the end.
I'd love to. Good. So this 6 course bundle, I have been working on this for so long, I can't even tell you. It shows you exactly how to self-publish your book to professional standards, some of which we covered today. How to do business as an independent author, how to design and format your book. Joel knows a little about that. How to distribute and market and sell to an audience who can't wait to give you 5-star reviews. Yeah, it's been a long journey, and all the experience of my creating my own books and helping thousands of clients and email subscribers and workshop folks get this done has informed these courses. The first course you've heard a little bit of it is the self publishing freedom course. In every course of the six, you have an introduction and resources section, which has lots of downloadable resources, PDF files, worksheets, and checklists. And in the first module, you've got how to, an overview of how to prepare your manuscript for success and how to do market research and the competitive analysis that you need to know what Amazon categories, for instance, your book uh, goes will fit in the best. How to get critique partners and early readers. Believe it or not, there's even more than I've shared with you today on this topic. And how to build your platform on the World Wide Web, which includes, for those of you who don't have your email list together yet, creating your email uh, marketing list, because this is truly foundational to helping people get to know you on the web. Also, how to get great editing and proofreading after your beta readers have approved and love your manuscript, how to make it super professional, and why and how you uh, manage your ISBNs, your own ISBNs, why it's not really good to use those free ISBNs from Amazon or another company. So that's the first, in these 7 modules, actually in the 6 modules, there are about 5 to 10 lessons per module, and these are all multimedia lessons. The second course, setting up your publishing business, that's all about your business plan, how to set it up legally with the taxes and permits you need to pay, what kind of tools and services and partners you might hire or work with to get your business stuff done. Set it and forget it sites that can help you. Creating a sales strategy as well. Where are you going to sell it directly? What kind of distribution and printing are you going to get? And hiring it out. There was a lot that I didn't know about business, and I was really stymied. And I was glad to find some very good partners to help me figure it out and hire them to do the accounting and all that stuff that you don't want to do, like taxes and all that. The third course is all about designing and formatting. Book productions. Book production is tough. There's a long list of things that you have to know about how to produce a book properly. And only part of that is interior book design and formatting and cover design. There's definitely a lot to cover with that. It's a very creative process, and I just love working on book design, but it's always great to have a professional. So there's information in this module that will also help you hire it out. Distribution, for me, this is the easy part. There are some standard answers for how to distribute your book, those Amazon, Ingram Spark, Smashwords, Draft to Digital. You've heard the names, but there are some really kind of new, experimental, fun distribution options for print and ebooks that I think you'll love hearing about. And of course, getting the word out, that launch phase. Lots of kind of short modules in this course that will help you grow that email list that you started way back in step 1. And all about, really developing your metadata, your final book descriptions, metadata and discovery tools. We'll go over lots of Amazon tools, social media marketing tools, how to advertise on Facebook and Amazon. That's easier than ever these days. I really love experimenting with Facebook ads myself. And price promotions, a book launch, and just checklists for ongoing marketing because it never ends. One of my favorite things to do is just sell my book directly to my readers. And I've done that for years and years and years in person, from my website. I've sold a lot of books, believe it or not, to retail stores. I think you might be able to find outlets. You might be inspired to find outlets for selling to stores that aren't bookstores, especially during the holidays, or some of you might have a Halloween-y book. uh, you never know. I hope you'll get a lot of ideas from this course. You can sell direct to libraries too, and of course, the in the back of the room as you're speaking. And special sales. Some of you might know. I have a friend who sold a pile of books to Costco, and she made a corresponding pile of money. So we'll talk about that as well. And she shares her tips on doing that as well. So there's 6 courses with 5 to 10 modules or a little more in each course. It's about 50 lessons per course. It's updated and expanded all the time because it never ends. And they're multimedia. It's written, there's audio, there's video, there's me talking, there are other people talking, there's slides, and a 30-day money back guarantee. I never want anybody to be unhappy in my course. It's very interactive. So if you don't you feel like it's helping you, that's fine. I'm very happy to give your money back, and it's risk free for you to try. I also have a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with my beta readers, my beta testers for the course. They got access to a lot of the other stuff that I do, like my new author friendly podcast that's launching next week. And this is one of my favorite things to do is sit here at my desk where I am right now. And we have regular office hours, and people can dial in when they want, and we just talk for an hour or even more. Sometimes I'll just clear a whole morning and be available for anybody who wants to talk to me. And sometimes I'm just sitting here and everybody's talking amongst themselves and getting excited and trading ideas. um, and that's really nice too. So that's definitely one of my favorite things about the course. I also have a private Facebook group, so if I'm not around, we can all help each other. I dive in as often as I can. I also included this 344-page fourth edition self-publishing bootcamp guide for authors. Joel has seen the evolution of this over the last, I think, 10 years. It
Yeah.
has become a monster. So I provided this in digital format and also mail it to you because I want you to scribble in it. Sometimes, do you just not want to be sitting in front of the computer? And I don't want you to be stuck and need to get to the computer or your mobile device, but you can have a book to look in and mark up. So many things.
Carl, I got my copy in 2010, I think.
2010. Okay, so it's
When,
8 years.
when it was a big workbook and it was like $35 or something.
It's amazing what you can sell workbooks for. Yeah, isn't it? So if any of you are doing workbooks, they command a better price. That's for sure. I'm glad you still have that. There's a
I still have it, yeah.
That's awesome. Um, the consumer's guide, I have this compulsion to keep up with every tool and service for writing and publishing there is in existence. I started early, and so I started compiling them. So there's I have a online book that I keep this updated all the time. And like I said, lots of worksheets and checklists that you can either work on in Word or Pages or PDF or print out, metadata cheat sheets and manuscript preparation. There were so many here that I just chose a few. Each course has a whole bunch. And I want you to know that it's not just me. I know a lot of courses just have one person talking at you all the time in video. And so I wanted to make it multimedia, and I wanted to highlight voices like Joel. Thank you for all you do. And book design and beyond, and a whole bunch of other presenters, including Mark Coker from Smashwords, Robert Cutler talking about distribution, the founder of BookBaby talking about how to do social media marketing in 20 minutes a day, and other people you recognize. And and I've also started inviting many other experts like Joellen Taylor to talk about all the different kinds of editing. And not only lectures, but some of my friends in the publishing and writing business have contributed chapters or parts of their books. They want to spread awareness. And so they give me these PDFs of like this Stuart Horwitz, Finish Your Book in 3 Drafts. He gave me the whole section on beta reading. So that's really nice. What else? Curated content. I am sure all of you have been hunting and pecking all over the web to find the right answers for your self-publishing questions. And I know it's hard. There is a lot. So what I've done is I have collected the already published YouTube videos, blog posts, and other useful information that exists on the web. And I have placed them where appropriate in the lessons because I can't say it any better than these people. And you've got, of course, Jane Friedman. You were introduced to Kevin Kelly earlier. Our friend Kate Tilton, Scott James. How to convert ebooks, how to prepare EPUBs. You know, I just really wanted to centralize everything that you might find that's useful in one place. I don't know how many people are taking courses. Do you know the Teachable platform? I have really loved creating the course on this platform. You can use any of your devices. Great, Angelique. So you know how to navigate it. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Yeah, Reese. You can track your progress. There's a comment section that you can tell me or just comment, share your advice, ask questions. 24/7 tech support is pretty amazing because, I have to sleep. So if you're having problems logging in, I can't help you, but they can. So that is pretty nice. The courses kind of look like this. I introduce each one, and there's lots of, you see the navigation on the left and at the top. And here's an example of the comments. And when you go to the link, we're going to give you a link in just a minute, and you can see a lot of testimonials that people, I love Tamara. She's like, it's actually fun to take these lessons, which I love because it is. It was fun for me to develop them. So I'm glad it's fun for her as well. So I have a lot of great testimonials, which really pleases me. So this is what I hope you're going to do today. I really would love your feedback too. And remember, I'm at Self-Pub Bootcamp on Twitter, so you can ask me any questions or give me your status on how you're gathering your tribe by beta publishing, getting real relationships and getting feedbacks and reviews. With Self-Pub Bootcamp, I want to give you guidance and a home for your publishing activities, a centralized place so you don't have to hunt and peck and be frustrated around the web anymore. And set out on a journey. I'm a travel writer, so everything is a journey to be to successful self-publishing, to 5-star review self-publishing, and start to make money as an author and recoup all the investments that you've made in your career so far. Most of all, I'd love for you to relax about publishing. It should be fun. It's the year is half over, and I know a lot of people are getting kind of stressed. I like to envision you on the beach with your iPad or whatever, taking these courses and just chilling out and learning and organizing with all of us. The course is $497, and for Joel's list, introductory price of $397. So we want to talk about what else, but that's not all. So I'm really happy that Joel has kind of helped me co-launch this. This is my first webinar. I have talked so much on the web and in conferences and things that I forgot, I'm on my first webinar. So thank you, Joel. And do you want to introduce your bonuses for today, your Amazon Success Toolkit, which I think is amazing. I have it, and it's got so much great information in it.
Well, Carl, you did a terrific job. You've done so many presentations that I'm sure it was pretty easy to transition. But yeah, the Amazon Success Toolkit, one of our most popular products that we sell, has a retail value of $97. And it's the subtitle, if you can't read it, is How Savvy Authors Publish and Optimize Their Books for Blockbuster Sales on Amazon. It tells you all the procedures, the requirements, and lots of tips for publishing print books, ebooks, and audiobooks through Amazon. People love it. It really helps. It cuts it down to the basics. It gives you the information you need and plenty of information about how to optimize your ebooks, print books, and audiobooks on Amazon's platform. Retail value $97, but we've made it available because I really think Carla's course is so good for people who need this kind of help. Even if you only need like 2 modules, it can potentially save you thousands of dollars in mistakes or doing the wrong thing or wasted time or just weeks and weeks trying to figure out what to do. Look, our time is worth something too. So I would like to encourage anybody who feels like this would be beneficial to them. You don't, maybe there's something you already know. Okay, that's fine. But I'm sure I've learned a lot in this presentation today, and I'm sure there's a lot in the course you could learn. So that's the Amazon Success Toolkit. Now we got another one, don't we, Carla?
Yeah, thanks for this book design template.
Okay, we are going to include as another bonus, absolutely free, one of our very popular templates from our collection at bookdesigntemplates.com. This is the one you're looking at. And the retail value is $59. We sell them all day, every day. They're very popular. We've sold over 20,000 of these templates. So I kind of consider myself the world's most popular book designer. But the template allows you to format your own book in either Microsoft Word or Adobe InDesign. And it comes with the option that you can pick the platform and the trim size that you want. So we're also giving that to you because a lot of people, are getting ready to publish their book or thinking about how they're going to format it. This is the lowest cost, simplest, easiest way to get a beautifully designed industry standard book interior. But I think we have one more, Carla.
Yes, and this one is priceless because I know you don't give your time away very much, and to have a 30-minute consultation with Joel is pretty priceless because even when you sell your time, you don't. You only block out a certain
Yeah.
amount for that, which is rare and rare these days. So, 30 minutes to
Okay, this
ask Joel
30-minute
anything.
actually has a retail value of $175.
Oh, it does. Okay.
And that is, I had one earlier this week. I usually do 1 or 2 a week with authors who just kind of get stuck somewhere, or they have a book that's not your usual 6x9 paperback, and they realize there's not much help out there for anything other than people doing ebooks and simple paperbacks. I have a lifetime's experience in book design and production. And these can really be incredibly helpful sessions. Frequently, what I find is that people come in going one direction, or they're kind of stuck in a cloud of confusion, and then they end up going in a much more productive direction with actual recommendations or contacts or resources that I can provide them. So it's really kind of fun for me to do. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be doing consultations on a one-to-one basis because life has gotten very busy, but I'm happy to include it. Anyone who buys Carla's course during this promotion, and it's running until Monday at midnight, will also get a 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me, and you can set the agenda. You want to talk about your book design, you want to talk about blogging, you want to talk about building an audience online, whatever you want to talk about, I'll be there. And that's what we're going to do. So this is kind of, an incredible offer. If you really stack up everything that Carla is offering and that we've thrown in to make this even more productive for you, it's really kind of an amazing deal.
Yeah, it is. And thanks for that. I mean, if you talk to Joel, make sure you've got 30 minutes, make it very targeted. He will let you know so quickly what you need to do.
Or what you're doing
what
wrong.
You're doing wrong. Great. So I want to show you how to enroll. You can go to selfpubbootcamp.com/Joel. That's slash Joel, and it will take you to the enroll page. It's a long page, so you can either just hit enroll in the course, or you can scroll down and look at the testimonials and look around a little bit more. And once you do hit that enroll, you're going to see a one-time payment with the 20% coupon already applied to both the one-time payment plan and the 4 payment plan of well, now I've got the wrong screen up. I think it's only 103. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's 103 or 104 a month for 4 months. So you can make it very easy. You can pay via credit card or PayPal. Love the Teachable platform for that. You'll get your confirmation and your 30-day money back guarantee. And wow, this is a crowded screen. All of this. So all 6 courses, the resources that I'm including in the courses, all the community. This is actually kind of priceless too. Is the office hours and the in-course comments and discussion and the Facebook group. The stuff that goes on there is amazing. Plus the early access pricing and the half an hour with Joel and the indie book design template and the Amazon Success Toolkit. So there you go. Again, www.selfpubbootcamp.com/Joel will get you to the right place. And I think it's time for the Q&A.
yes. Um, you know, one of the things that we seem to have a lot of questions about was the beta readers.
Mm-hmm.
So we had several of them, and I'm going to tell you all of them at once. Like Edwina said, I've asked for beta readers. People have said they would read my novel, but not a single one actually did it. Even with a list of questions and a timeline, I got no results.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also looking for a local critique group. Leela said she doesn't like bugging people.
Mm-hmm.
And Donna said she's not sure how beta readers would be compensated. So you can deal with all of
Okay,
those.
yeah, I can deal with all of that. Well, for the let's see, I see. Edwina, I know when you ask so this is the trouble with asking friends to read your books. They feel obligated, friends and family perhaps, and maybe it's not really the kind of thing that they normally read. So I would I would encourage you to get on Facebook or Reddit or go to a writers conference and find other writers who are writing in your genre and do a critique group before you ask for beta readers, because I think that's the first step is your writing group, your critiques, and then beta readers, and that might help you solve your problem, and get people to and then use one of the platforms that I suggested, and get some conversation going. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Does that make sense to you, Joel?
And
Your
did,
critique group
yeah,
first.
and have you ever compensated your beta readers?
Just with because they're there because they like to read. So I do compensate them by giving them a shout out, like saying on Facebook, oh, I so and so encouraged me to write about this or to write this story or to improve it. Just a thank you, and also to give them my new stories, right? To allow them to be the first to see my new stories that other people haven't seen. So that's, believe it or not, that's really the compensation that they want. They want to read and they want to be recognized and thanked.
And also, part of the compensation is being part of the
Hmm.
process. Like you feel like you're actually participating in helping to, make this book even better and publish it. When it comes out, it's kind of exciting because you actually had a hand in it, and that's fun.
Right. And
All right, Carla, I got 2 questions about the
okay.
course. Sandra wants to know if the course can be done on a part-time basis. And Skipper wanted to know if there's a time limit on the 6 courses, or do you get like forever access?
Right. So it is a lifetime membership. So when the price goes up or when I add new modules or even new courses, you'll have access to those as well. There's no time limit. You can dive in and out. I will be having office hours, and some of the group gatherings will be on specific topics. You can choose to join or not. So yeah, lifetime access. I'd like to encourage you to just come back. I'll remind you to come back to it if I haven't seen you for a while, so you don't forget. I don't know if you have done this, but I have bought courses and forgotten about them. And 6 months later, I have a question. I'm going, oh my gosh, I bought that course, and that was why, because this I needed this question answered. But they didn't remind me that I hadn't been in the course for a long time, so I'd forgotten about it. I will bug you about it too. Not too much though.
Okay. We have more questions here. I just wanted to point out, though, before we go off this screen, I was calculating with my little handy dandy calculator those 3 items that we put in as bonuses, and that's where I make my career as an online e-commerce provider.
Right.
But those 3 items we sell every day add up to $331.
Wow.
Retail, and that's what people are paying for them every day. It's not a big, it's just right on our site where we do business. So, this is really an amazing deal that Carl has put together. And I think if you're looking to learn about publishing, or you need these resources, or you just want to figure out how to do the Facebook advertising and get access to Carla and her unbelievable wealth of knowledge, I mean, right there, that would be more than enough to pay for that.
Thank you.
So, Carla, do you have a 1-sentence description of what is beta publishing?
Beta publishing is publishing privately before you upload your book for distribution.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So a couple of questions about writers groups and conferences. Edwina wanted to know, what exactly is a literary salon? Is that like a critique group?
No, a literary salon is a gathering. Yeah, I think they've started in the 1920s as a place where, like your intellectual salons, where people gather in someone's house. Or in San Francisco, we held ours at the Monticello Inn in downtown San Francisco, who provided wine and hors d'oeuvres. And uh, our group, the Wild Writing Women, at the time invited a person an author or someone in publishing to speak or do a reading for half an hour or so, and then schmooze and exchange ideas. So it's an amazing thing to be a part of. And if, like I said, if you don't have one in your town, might be a great way to gather some community around you.
Well, and here's a couple of tips from people who are attending. Linda said, for people looking for a writers group in the San Francisco Bay Area, they should join the California Writers Club, which is at calwriters.org, because they have numerous branches all around the Bay Area with regular meetings and lots of activities. And Linda belongs to Redwood Writers. I've spoken there often myself. It's a great group. And Skipper says, if you want beta readers or a critique group, move to Gainesville, Florida, and join Writers Alliance of Gainesville, another writers group. And he actually alerted us that there is a website, writersalliance.org.
Mm-hmm.
That might help Fred, whose comment was, my experience with writing groups has not resulted in much comprehensive critique.
Mm-hmm.
Most have been mutual admiration societies, is there available set of rules for engagement for writing critique
Yes, there
groups?
is.
So that's a whole bunch on that topic.
Yeah, there is a whole bunch. And our friend, what is her name? Victoria. Joel, she goes to the San Francisco Writers Conference, and Donna, the San
Yeah.
Francisco Writers Conference is in February in San Francisco. It's awesome. I run the self publishing track and tech track there. Anyway, her book is called No Red Pen, and it is a little rule book about how to create and conduct yourself as a writer in critique groups. And I've done it in a few different ways. Uh, the Admiration Society. Yeah, there are different kinds of writing groups. There are writing groups and critique groups that encourage you to write, and there are the ones that help you publish, right? And help you create a story that will sell, a book that will sell. And those are the kinds of writing groups that I want to belong to now. When I first started writing, I needed the first type of group, but it sounds like you're beyond that.
Also, for people who are farther down the track, there are also some really great publishing groups that aren't about writing, they're about publishing for independent authors. Like here in the Bay Area, we have the Bay Area Independent Publishers Association, otherwise known as BAPA. And there are many groups like this around the country, most of them affiliated with the IBPA, the Independent Book Publishers Association.
Mhm.
And they could be really, really helpful. If you want somebody local, like an editor, you can go and sit down with. You'll find one at these groups. You'll find designers. They have great presentations. So anybody who's actually publishing or looking for information on publishing as opposed to writing, I would suggest you try and find out if there's a group near you, because it might be well worth your while. I've been going to the BAPA meetings for many years, and I find them helpful to this day.
It's true. I
Anyway,
belonged also to the Bay Area Travel Writers Group, and I think there's a mystery writers group in the Bay Area as well. So, yeah, can really drill down.
Carla, um, we're getting towards the end of our time. I had one question from Angelique, and I couldn't quite pin it down about where it was in your presentation, but she had a question about how the I think it was the sites where you share content like Wattpad,
Hmm.
how they affect Kindle Unlimited, and there were a number of people who wrote comments saying they were concerned about copyright and
Hmm.
piracy on sites where content is shared. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, copyright and piracy is a question, a concern of a lot of writers, and the truth and I've heard many publishing professionals say this, is don't worry about it until you're so famous you're actually losing money because of it. Because if people are starting to share and pirate your writing, you're on the right track. It is illegal. There is a website that can help you track. Uh, can't remember it right now, but if you ping me at Self Pub Bootcamp on Twitter, I can send it to you. That will help you. You know, there are web spiders that identify repetitive sentences and paragraphs, and you can identify copywritten material. Um, but I would not worry about it. The other thing is that regarding Kindle Unlimited, which is that all you can read program that Amazon offers. I believe Scribd has the same kind of all you can read. I think it's $10 a month. Um, this is publishing that. If you're using Kindle Unlimited, if you're using Amazon and selecting Kindle Unlimited or publishing, using any of the platforms that distribute to Amazon or Scribd, which also has the unlimited reading for $10 a month, you've already published. And so, what we're talking about with Wattpad, with LeanPub, with Beta Books, even beta publishing on your Facebook notes area in Facebook. This is pre-publishing. This is publishing, maybe not privately, but it's certainly you're book isn't ready for prime time and you're asking for feedback. So I wouldn't worry about piracy or publishing early. It's a great marketing tactic. It's skipped by too many people, possibly because of these fears of piracy. But worry about it and be happy when it starts to happen.
Hey, it shows somebody wants to read your stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Carla. I just want to close this up by saying I've really enjoyed this presentation today, Carla. And it's not that there are things that there were I definitely things I didn't know, but I've often talked to authors over the years about the early stages, what you do before you publish the book, and how crucial that is to success. I was in the book publishing industry in the 1980s, and I'm working for a publisher, and I published my first book in 1986. And I consistently, what Carla has, but I've never brought it together in one place under the idea like a beta publishing. All the activities that you do to build your community and build anticipation, that's when you make your book a success. That is when it happens, not on launch day. On launch day, everything should have already been done by then.
Hmm.
So I think it's really beneficial that Carla has brought all this together in addition to all of the other stuff that she has in the self-publishing bootcamp course. And look, making one book a success would be so exciting, thrilling, and remunerative that you would be happy you spent $397 on acquiring Carla's course. So I encourage anybody on this call who's interested to go over to selfpubbootcamp.com/Joel and check out the offer there. There's a lot of detail about what's in the course. Carla is somebody who really knows what she's talking about, and she has very practical orientation to publishing. And that will really pay off for you if you sign up for a course, because she will guide you in the best possible way to actually get the results you're looking for. So it's selfpubbootcamp.com/Joel. Carla, do you have any last words for us?
Oh, thanks. I'm really passionate about sharing this knowledge. I've been doing it in many different ways over the years. So I'm really thrilled to be able to offer a comprehensive set of courses, modules, and lessons, and especially the office hours and the personal contact with all the writers and just getting to know everybody. So I hope to see you there. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up at actually hello@selfpubbootcamp.com, or just reach me on Twitter at selfpubbootcamp, and I'd be glad to answer them.
Okay, fantastic, Carla. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who's still on the call, and I will see
Thank
you
you.
next
Thank you,
time.
Joel.
Bye.
Bye bye.